cornucopia, if you will, of things that you will learn and will want to learn about health and fitness sales. But if I'm priming a new or even slightly experienced, even moderately experienced health and fitness professional, there are 25 principles that I want them to know. These are in no particular order of importance, although I might state a few highlights here and there. So, let's have it. First things first. First impressions. First impressions, everyone knows this, are a real thing. You go to meet somebody's in-laws for the first time. I hope you didn't leave a bad impression. Same thing goes for when you meet somebody through a sales presentation the first time. So it's vital that you make a good first impression through 3 key factors, because people perceive you through 3 different ways primarily. How you look, how you sound, what you actually say. And by the way, also in that order. 55% is how you look. 30, in other words, how you present yourself, maybe even how attractive you are. But definitely how you groom yourself, how you carry yourself, your body language. What you sound like, your tone of voice, your passion. You know, are you coming on too strong? Are you whiny? Is your tonality fit the scenario? And then, of course, what you actually say, and that's 7%. Kind of gives you an idea. So it's really important that, since we know that body language is so vital to the first impressions, great eye contact, firm handshake, not too firm, smile, be friendly, right? Be likable, be friendly, joke around a little bit, cater to that person, cater to that vibe, cater to the scenario. Hard to undo a bad first impression, so no pressure, but honestly, it should be no pressure. The less pressure you put on it, the better first impression you're probably going to make. Number 2, selling isn't telling. If you haven't heard it already from me, you're going to hear it scores of times. So, selling isn't telling. Inquiring is selling. Asking questions. Learning about that person. You can't sell somebody that you don't know about. You have to uncover their driving wants, uncover, their big whys. You have to uncover what their experience has been in the past, everything about them. What their needs are so we can find them a solution, what their pain is so we can find them a solution. But none of this can be done without the power of questions. And most people want to try to sell through promotion, which is telling you how great something is. Which goes to another tenet. Not only is selling not telling, but everyone wants to buy, but no one wants to be sold to. That's the other one. And we might as well transition right into that. Everyone wants to buy something. You like buying stuff. I like buying stuff. It's fun. The issue isn't that someone doesn't want to buy. They just may not want to buy from you because you're telling them. You're not selling isn't telling, as we talked about. Asking questions is. So there you go. They want to buy, but they don't want to feel pressured, and they want to feel special, and they want to feel like you take the time to care and find out what they specifically need, customize the experience, customize the solution, and bam. 3, persistence outlasts resistance. Determination. It's true everywhere. Now that doesn't mean that we pressure the hell out of somebody until they give in. That just means that positive reinforcement over and over again, allowing them to see different angles, positions, rebuttals if necessary, whatever it takes, but outlasting them. Sales by attrition, if you will. But don't give up, and if you don't sell them then, you don't give up then either. Touch points, get them back in, these sort of things. But the point is that most people, if they wanted to do it anyway, as I always say, you have leverage in the fitness industry because they had to come in or they had to talk to you, even if it was online. They had to talk to you, meet with you at some point, so we know they're interested. They're qualified. So now that they're a qualified lead, we know there's some level of interest. Just don't drop the ball. That's a nice segue into the next one, which is most salespeople, specifically health and fitness salespeople, because we get into this field for reasons of helping people, and a lot of us associate sales with scheming people, which is totally not true. But most salespeople in health and fitness industry err on the side of being too passive. If anything, if you're going to err on one side, I prefer that you only err on one side or the other. You want to be right in the middle, perfect amount of positive pressure, but also a little bit of aggressiveness, a little bit of edge. That's good. Because remember, if you're ultimately going to be their fitness coach or their personal trainer or their person they're going to seek for counsel, or you're going to be the one that's holding them accountable, I'm assuming that's why they're talking to you. How in the world can they expect you to hold them accountable if you can't even hold them accountable to committing right now? Okay, so are applying a little bit of positive pressure. It's taking you this long to get in. Why are we not making a decision right now? Everyone puts on. That's what this industry is known for. People putting off their workouts. Are people stopping and starting and quitting? Are you going to allow that to happen on the first day? I should think not. I'm not going to let you do that. Thank you very much. So the key is, especially if you're new, this happens so much with inexperienced salespeople. They're so worried about being too aggressive or asking for the sale or whatever. Err on the side of being too aggressive. When I was managing salespeople, I liked hearing that they were a little bit too aggressive sometimes because it means they were actually trying. Okay? I mean, it's better, you'd rather hear that than what you hear more often, which is that person didn't even ask for the sale. You went through that entire process with them, spent time, did all that. They're waiting for it. And you didn't even ask them for the sale? You went through all that? What do you think they're going to do it the next time? Come on. When we miss a deal, that's okay. Life moves on. On to the next sale. It's just like life. You make a mistake, but you learn from it. Now, if you don't learn anything from it, then it was a waste of time. So in order to learn from it, you have to find your mentor, ask them questions, be able to identify the concern, which is number one. If you can't identify a concern, you're not going to learn anything from it. And then figure out, what can I do differently? And then when I see it again, how I handle it. And then the next time you see it, handle it differently and close it this time. No one buys from someone they do not like. Pretty simple. It's a likability factor. They will either go to somebody else or they'll not buy completely, but they will not buy from you. So be likable. That goes back to the same principles that apply for first contact, first impressions. Be likable, be charming, be fun, be funny. You know, bring them a mint. Offer them movie tickets. I don't know. But be likable, enjoy your time with them. And I think that really is a nice transition to the next one, which is to sell anyone, you must love everyone. Does it make sense? That's the mentality. And it's got to be authentic. You have to be a general people person to be able to sell everybody. It's going to help you want to learn about different cultures. That mentality is going to help you want to, study human behavior. All the things that are necessary for you to be somebody that's great at sales, not just good, if that makes sense. So you really must like what you do, which I'm assuming you do, or you wouldn't be listening to me. But you also must like everyone, right? You don't have to actually like everyone specifically. Oh, I like everybody, no matter how they treat me. That's not what I mean. What I mean by that is you like people. You find them interesting. You're curious about them. You want to know. You like connecting with people and building relationships. That's what it's all about. A, B, C. Always be closing. You've probably heard this one before. Right? A little cliche, but it's true. Always be closing. Everything you say, everything you do, every action you take is with the intention of ultimately closing. Touch points here. This touch point might lead to a sale 6 months from now. What you're saying now, they don't realize it, but 10 steps from now, when I'm in the price presentation, that's going to mean something. I'm dropping a seed now so I can recover later. Everything's with the intention of gradually building that relationship to the point where they buy. And I don't mean that in a manipulative way. I just mean that if we manage the process and we do the proper steps and we're always closing and we're always helping and serving and ultimately providing service for that person, they're going to naturally eventually buy, is the way I look at it. A tour of the health club is not a tour of the health club. It's many things. Okay, and then I get much more detail in other parts of the program and in other videos. But the tour is an excuse. It's an excuse to build rapport. It's an excuse to spend time with them in order to build rapport. It's an excuse to build value, to build commitment, to figure out about what's driving them emotionally, spiritually, what's going on in their life, their kids, their dogs. It's about giving you time to create a relationship and to ultimately make it about them and create a dynamic, exciting experience for them that's customized for them. And that informs you on how to sell them later and how to close them later. It's also a chess match because we're identifying what their concerns are now and smashing those concerns before we ever get anywhere near the closing portion of the sales process. So we're using that time as an excuse. Hey, we're gonna uncover this stuff by asking a lot of questions and doing a needs analysis and all that, and then we're gonna smash those concerns or anything that might have been holding them back. Do some behavior modification type stuff. Have some discussions about that, old paradigms that weren't serving them, those sort of discussions, and we crush all that. We move on, and by the time we get to the close, it's a no-brainer. It's not if they're going to buy. It's assumed they're going to buy. It's what they're going to buy. Next one. Hey. What was that you said? Next is mirroring techniques. Okay, so when I say mirroring, this could be a myriad of things. There's mirroring as far as like reflecting what sort of body language they're displaying right now. So if they have their shoulder up, you put your shoulder and elbow up, right? If they're smiling, you're smiling, you know? So it can be kind of weird, don't make it creepy. But it usually creates a sense of empathy. The reason why the whole purpose of mirroring is to show and feel empathy. So there's instant rapport being built and ultimately trust. And trust leads to somebody feeling comfortable enough to buy. The other way you mirror is in the words they speak to you. So the last 2 or 3 words they said in the last sentence that they said, you repeat back to them in some way, shape, or form. You know, it could be, I want to lose 20 pounds. You want to lose 20 pounds, so whatever way you have to say it so that it shows that you're listening, that instantly creates such an appreciation for you and such rapport because there's so few people that actively listen. And when you repeat the words back to them, it's showing that you're actively listening, that you've heard what they've said, you've received it, you understand it, and now you're feeding it back to them. So few people do that. It's incredible. Instantly, that's going to build a lot of trust and rapport, which is what we're aiming for. We always sell the most of whatever program, package, or service, or type of service that we're offering that we believe the most in ourselves. Which one would we buy? I bet you're going to sell the most of that package. So in other words, if you have 3 options that you can sell, and let's say you sold these over the course of 1 year, and you look at your stats at the end of that year, I can guarantee you that you would be selling the most of the one that you believed in the most. Like the one that you would buy. Like, why do you buy that one? Well, I would buy it for me because of X, Y, and Z. Those are the same reasons why you believe in it, which are the exact same reasons why you're selling it the most to other people, because you believe in it. What does that tell you? Always sell on value, commitment, and fitness. Make it about them. It's never about price. It's never about promotion. Never sell on price. Whenever I've ever gone into like a short lull in selling, it's always been because, almost every single time, it's been because I was focused on selling on price. Maybe we ran some promotion. You know, there was like a kick-ass promotion for, you know, a couple weeks or a week or something like that. And I got in a habit of selling it. It's very easy to get used to using a promotion as a crutch. You know what I mean? Because if you're used to selling it up here, then suddenly you're selling the exact same service, and now there's people just coming in and out of the door because you're only offering it for a couple of days, and it's like bam, bam, bam. It gets very easy to skip the steps and to try to rush through the sales process because you know at the end of the day it's what you're going to sell anyway. So you don't want to ever get in that habit. Never skip steps. Never skip any parts of the process if you don't have to. Whenever I have any kind of problems, I'm always going back to their goals. What is their fitness goals? That's one of the first things I ask. It's one of the questions I always go back to. Go back to their goals. Go back to their emotions. Go back to their commitment. Talk in terms of 6 and 12 months. Talk in terms of fitness as a lifestyle. You're selling on the lifestyle. You're selling on the commitment that it's going to take to achieve those goals and to create a lifestyle. And you're talking about them and their dreams, ambitions, and emotions. Price has nothing to do with it. I don't care if it's $1 million. I will create enough value to make that service worth $1 million by the end of it. I just need a little bit of time. That's all. So it's never about price. Price is an afterthought if you do a good job. I don't even think about the price until I get to the end. I'm like, by the way, it's this, this, and this. Which one do you want? Because it's been such an experience. It's been such a energetic, enthusiastic, session about them the entire time that, of course, it's an afterthought. It's an assumptive close. Great segue to create an experience for your prospective client. I've said this before. I will swallow swords. I will do handstands. I will nearly get naked. I will do whatever it takes to create experience for that person. I want it to be fun. I want it to be different. I don't want to be the same old, same old. They've been at work all day to do that. They're in here to get in shape and to do something different, get away from all that. This might be the only hour they get to themselves all day. This is going to be an experience. I don't want to take them through the same old thing. Now, I'm going to cater that experience to them. I'm not going to be, somebody comes in all timid, I'm not going to be, hey! No, I'm going to be mirroring them. But I'm always going to bring some passion, some enthusiasm, some friendliness, and some good times to their day. Because that's part of my personality, and you do the same with your personality. And it's important to customize that experience. Customization. People love customization. Which is the next one. Customization. Customization is, everyone likes to feel special, and one of the ways you can make them feel special is through customization. You're customizing something specifically for them, and you spend the time to do it. They just love the idea of, no one wants cookie cutter, right? Assume the sale. Just like we talked about before. You've done a great job. You've created a dynamic, interesting experience. You've made it about them. You've built value, you've built commitment. You've talked about their fitness goals and their lifestyle. You've done all that. Assume the sale. Pretend, if you're a personal trainer, for example, and you're selling your services, you're assuming they're buying, so take the tour, take the sales presentation as if you've already sold them and cater that experience towards what their goals are, because right afterwards you're going to have to cater to help them establish those goals anyway. So you might as well start it now as if they're going to do it. You do that with everything, whether it's a membership, whether you're selling massage therapy, and if you assume it, they're going to assume it too. They're just going to mirror what you're doing. This, to me, is an obvious one. However, I see it too many times to leave this out. So any inexperienced salesperson or sales team, I see this all the time. They don't ask for the sale. I mean, they take time, let's say half hour, hour and a half, whatever it is, to present and to build all this emotion, ideally, and they get to the very end of it, and they don't even ask for the sale. They don't even price present and say, okay, which one do you want? They don't do it. It boggles my mind. What did you do that for? Just give them a free workout or to make yourself like a quick $10 or something? What was the point of that? Ask for the sale. That's why you're there. They're there for your help and your services. They can't do it without... What, are you going to do it for free? Of course not. They expect to pay something. What is it? You just built a lot of value. That was the whole point, was to display your value and give them a reason to justify paying. Okay, you've done that. Now it's time to say, okay, this is what it is. A great health and fitness sales professional is always looking for the next sale. Always. It's always been, okay, I got that, check, okay, close it, what's next? What I got coming in tomorrow? Where can I find this next sale? Where's it coming from? I got to generate some more leads so that, a week from now I'll have even more coming in. That's the mentality. Huge one. Never devalue your service. I see this all the time. I talk about this so much in the rest of the programs, the rest of the video modules, and the rest of any of my programs. I'm not going to kill you on this right now, but it's one of the most important things. You don't want to offer promotions and things that are devaluing your service. You don't want to make decisions that are devaluing your service or your business or your brand or your image. And you don't want to do that as an individual health and fitness practitioner either. You want to always be basing your image and brand on quality. And that quality is not always associated with price necessarily. It can be cleanliness. It can be, looking a certain way, carrying yourself a certain way, doing the small things. Whether it's generally devaluing your service or whether it's devaluing one service that you have to build up another. I've seen that a lot too. Well, we got a new program over here, so we're going to devalue this service over here, and we're going to rob from Paul to pay Peter, and that never made a whole lot of sense to me. The idea is that if you have two programs, two of them should be coming up at the same time and growing and informing each other and helping each other, not one's bringing the other one down. Right? It doesn't make any sense. Feed the beast. We know this is a numbers game. The more people you have in your pipeline, the more people you get in front of, the more likely you're going to close them. Even if you're not a great salesperson, if you generate enough leads, eventually you're going to get sales. Feed the beast. If you're owner or manager, the idea is you want to get your best salespeople in front of the most people. As simple as that. And that's really what it comes down to. If you're an individual salesperson, you want to get in front of as many people as possible. It's not complicated. Keep it simple. Speaking of which, that's the next one. Keep it simple. My 8th grade teacher used to say, keep it simple, stupid. You know, the whole KISS analogy? Keep it simple, stupid. It's so easy to rationalize that something complex is better or improved. It's not. Your systems are better if they're simple. The way you handle a prospect is simple, better when you're simple. Anything in life, really. If you think about it, when you think about things that are very nuanced, they're very complex, very like dazzling, right? If you take somebody who's really good at a sport, for example, they're able to do really incredible, amazing things that are pleasing to the eye and like, wow, your average person cannot do that. It's amazing. Only because they've mastered the fundamentals so well, those nuanced, interesting, show-offy things that they can do are a result of mastering the fundamentals. Resist the temptation, especially if you're a personal trainer or somebody, or like a massage therapist or a chiropractor, who, and when we do our day-to-day, we're more scientific. When you're selling, you don't want to be as scientific. Think about it. When you go to a concert or a show, you want to see the sizzle. You don't care about the steak necessarily, correct? 99% of the population doesn't care what type of guitars or speakers the band is using. They care about this music, the sound, the connection. How does it make them feel? Sell that. You don't need to get too technical. Personal trainers tend to do it all the time. You know, the trapezius, the mid and low trapezius is, right? Hell with all that. They don't care. 9 out of 10 of them. Like that just to make you look good and whatever. Yes, to some clients, and you know who those are, you can apply a little bit more of that. But for the most part, when you're selling, you want to keep it pretty simple. Sell the sizzle. Sell how they're going to feel, both emotionally and physically. Talk about what their goals are. Make it about that. Make it about their life. Make it about them. Not about, wow, look at this technique. Now, there's certain things you can talk about, like dynamic training, but always bring it back to them and back to their emotions and back to their goals. Don't believe in the be-back bus. It's not coming back, baby. It's not coming back. You've spent all that time getting them ready to buy, getting them primed to buy, and their emotion levels here took a long time. Why in the world are you not going to try to close them the first time you meet them, even if you're scheduled to meet with them the second time? It doesn't make any sense. They are not coming back. Yes, occasionally they will, like 1 out of 30. And you're chasing your tail. Do not believe, do not get in the habit. It's a rookie mistake. Be-back bus is coming back. It's not. If you don't sell them right away and they say, oh, I'll be back tomorrow, well, why not right now? Well, I don't get paid tomorrow. Why not right now? I'll figure it out. If you don't sell them, of course you're going to maintain contact with them and try to sell them the next time. But don't rely on that mentality. That's not the mentality you want to operate under. You want to close right then, right now. This industry is about people procrastinating. This industry is about people not getting results because they keep putting it off. Why would you allow them to do that if you're a personal trainer or in the health and fitness industry? Human nature dictates that they're not going to be back. Don't believe it. Even if they believe it, they might actually believe it. Well, I don't. I believe that you believe it, but I don't believe you're going to be back because human nature dictates that you probably won't be. Lastly, very simple, establish value before you close. What does that mean? Tell them what they're getting before you go to close it. You wouldn't walk up to somebody on the street and be like, hey, I want to kiss you. They don't know. Plus, that'd be creepy. The other thing is you're not going to close somebody if they don't even know what your services are or what value you're bringing to the table. So build the value first, and always before you go for the price presentation, let's say you've spent an hour building value, always build value one last time and show them what they're getting. Write down on a piece of paper or have it on display. Bam, bam, bam. This is what you're getting. This is why it's great. And then go into your close. That way they're reminded once more what value they're getting out of it before they go talk about the money.